Our next story is taken from a documentary produced by 3 graduate students at Columbia University. It's about one of their friends, a musician just graduated from college, living and performing in New York City. And then, this past December, at the age of 24, her entire life changed.
Tonight, my friends are throwing a party for me. They're not here to celebrate my birthday or a new job. They're here to cut my hair. My name is Asha Mevlana Clayton Niederman. Last December, at 24 years old, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. In a few weeks, my hair will start falling out, but instead of waiting, my friends are cutting it for me. Because of my age, I didn't think I could get breast cancer. I ignored the lump in my breast for 6 months until my mom pushed me to get a mammogram. The results were inconclusive. 7 months later, when the lump had increased in size, I had it checked again. The doctors did 2 biopsies.
They came back after the second one, and she's like, "You have cancer." And I was like, it didn't really register. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this wasn't in my life plan, like, you know, so I was just kind of a little bit in shock, and then I just like put my head in my hand. I just started hysterically crying.
The day after I was diagnosed, I went back to have the lump in my left breast removed. For my parents, coping with my diagnosis has been hard.
I just wished I could trade places with her. And I told her that, and she said, "Now, Mom, what would you get out of it? If you had breast cancer, what would you get out of it? What would you learn from it?" And I said, "Probably nothing. I'd just be so upset." And she goes, "Well, she says, I'll learn something from this."
I've been going through one of the toughest forms of chemotherapy. So strong, it's been nicknamed the Little Red Devil. One of its side effects is hair loss. But this lets me wear different wigs and have fun with new looks. But I'm not embarrassed about being bald.
I'm a little self-conscious when people haven't seen me when I'm bald. Like, when my roommate's boyfriend came over, I was like, he walked in the door, I was like, "Oh, hi," because I was like, I didn't want to freak him out, because I feel like I look like an alien.
Not only has cancer affected my body, it has also changed me on the inside.
I used to think I was kind of invincible, you know, nothing could happen to me, and now it's like, things do happen, and, you know, you can't plan. I've always thought about death, and I've always been so scared of it. And I think it's because there's so many things in my life that I just want to get done.
Today is my final chemo treatment, and I'm filled with mixed emotions.
So, I was just getting really scared about my, I'm gonna cry. I was getting really scared about having my last treatment. It sounds really dumb, because everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, you're almost done," but, and like, I think it's a relief, but it was almost just really scary, because it was like, I kind of like being on chemo, because it's like a safety net. It's like, I know if I'm on chemo, like, nothing can happen, and it's like, I feel safe. As long as I'm sick, I know I'm like, okay.
After 10 weeks of chemo, I'll start a month of intensive radiation therapy. When that ends, I'll take daily medication for 5 years to reduce the chances of recurrence. Dr. Axelrod says my 5-year prognosis is good. Once my radiation therapy is finished, I'll be considered another breast cancer survivor.
Joining us now in the studio are Asha Clayton Niederman and Joey Cole, one of the filmmakers. Welcome, Asha. Well, no, yes, yet another one of your looks.
Yeah, one of my 7.
The pink hair. You look fantastic, and it was 6 months since your chemo ended, is that right?
Actually, in March it ended.
Oh, it ended in March.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
and I'm in
really
radiation right now. I have 3.
months.
Yep. I have
well,
radiation.
You look great. How do you feel?
I feel terrific.
Well,
my energy's starting to come back, and I feel better.
That's great. What was this like, both as a filmmaker? I want to start with you, actually, Asha. What was it like to go through this experience, not only go through it, but have it documented and watched and observed? And it's a very private thing that you're going through publicly.
For me, having the documentary done, especially by my friends, it was almost therapeutic, because I was able to share my experience and talk about everything that was going on with me and not feel like I was burdening them with everything.
And for you, Joey, as a filmmaker and also a friend of Asha, a filmmaker, you need to be unbiased, you need to be objective, and you're her friend and you see her going through this. What was that like?
Well, also it was very therapeutic for me, because I could see Asha and I could be with her and film whatever we needed to film. And she would be able to talk about her experiences, and that brought us closer.
What do you hope that people will get, what do you hope women will get from this?
One of the main things that we wanted from this documentary is for women, young women especially, to be proactive about their health. That if they feel as though something's wrong with their body, to go ahead and go to the doctor. I know for me, when I go to doctor's office, I'm so ready to just run out because I hate being there. But now it's all about taking the time, asking the questions, and making sure that your doctor understands what you are, you know, concerned about.
And I think also a lot of doctors don't really realize now that young women can get breast cancer. So a lot of times what young women will go into their doctor, and the doctor says, oh, you're too young, you don't fit the profile. So we want to make sure that people are aware that everyone can fit the profile. It's not just for older women.
Right. Now, Asha, I want to ask you, how has this diagnosis and going through the steps to get rid of cancer, how has that changed, perhaps, choices that you've made in your life?
It's definitely put a lot of perspective. I now live more for the moment and in the moment rather than living for the future.
Well, Asha and Joey, I wish you great luck with this
Can
documentary.
I show you what I look like without hair? It's starting to come
It's starting to come in. Look at that. It's très chic also. I mean, that's probably,
People
that's
don't
amazing.
know when I walk out on the street without my wig on, they don't know if I'm...
Of course not. It looks like a fashion choice. Well, good for you. I like both ways. I know all the ways. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
very much. Coming up next.